Hey, thanks for checking out the channel, everybody. Tobin here with you. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Please subscribe and watch the show every time that we got a new video up there. That would mean a lot to me. Subscribe also to Miami 560 WQAM. You can watch Tobin and Leroy every single weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And tomorrow on 560's YouTube page, the debut of Game Day Uncensored. We will be getting you ready for, of course, Finn's preseason action. Me, my Porpoise Pod co-host, Alejandro Solana, and Omar Kelly. We are excited to bring that to you. So check that on out. 4 hours tomorrow. It's going to be from 3 to 7, getting you ready for game time. I am doing 8 hours of radio tomorrow. I cannot wait. If I skip on a YouTube video tomorrow, forgive me, everybody. Forgive me. But we'll see. You know what? No promises. I'll probably do a game recap too. Let's just drive this ugly face right into the ground. That's what we'll do. This ugly face and this ugly voice. Either way, looking forward to the project for sure. So 3 o'clock tomorrow. Hope everybody tunes on in. Oh, I'm looking at this, man. I hope my little Waddle's okay. That's all I want to know. I want to get to the end of the game so I can find out about Jaylen Waddle. I just want to know that he's okay. I miss him. I not going to get any little penguin dances tomorrow. I miss you, buddy. I don't want to be in a world where there is no Jaylen Waddle. I'm just going to leave him here until I know that he's A-okay, because if you hurt his side, you can't even do the Waddle properly. It's a tough one. Tua, he's kind of like the only guy who gave us anything on Jaylen and basically said he don't know, but he's been awesome lately.
Yeah, I did see that. I couldn't see, what had happened. I know he made the play, but I think Waddle has probably had one of the best camps, on our team this year, and it really started with OTAs. From the first day he came, he showed up. I mean, he was locked in. So, it's kind of unfortunate to see something like that happen. I hope that it's just, a couple days or whatever, and I hope he gets better. But I think Waddle has had one of the best camps in this Miami Dolphins 2023 training camp.
Man, I mean, that's kind of cool to hear because there has been a lot of the offense, should there be concern? They haven't looked that great. They didn't light up this terrible Falcons offense in practice. And, you're not probably going to get a good look at it this preseason game. Let's be honest about it. You're going to get the backups in there. I think probably what everybody's looking forward to the most is seeing what, Devon Achane is going to bring to the table. And people are raving about him. You had, who was it who said, was it Brandon Jones or who the hell said that he was like, somebody likened him to Chris Johnson. I was like, whoa. And that's pretty high. That's pretty high praise for the young rookie who is a burner. It was Brandon Jones. He said he compared him to Calvin Johnson, and then Jaylen Waddle was also this was the day before he got hurt, and he was also really high on Devon Achane and thinking that he could be something special.
Oh man, he can cut on a dime. He's very hard to get down. His balance is crazy. He had a crazy run today. I was like, he's gonna be one of them ones.
Man, I mean, that kind of gets you geeked up to hear what this young rookie is, and a lot of people who have been boots on the ground for these practices are saying well, I don't know, Dalvin Cook may have missed the boat. I don't know. So that's probably the guy I'm looking forward to seeing the most in preseason action and seeing what he can do. How is he adjusted to the offense? Seeing just how he stacks up physically on all this stuff. I would say that's the thing that I'm looking forward to the most on Friday night with this first match. How do you get a little looky-loo with the rookies and especially Achane, seeing what he can do there. That for me. I mean, I know there'll be some on the offensive line and who's getting reps and all that type of stuff, but it's not going to be a complete offense. Armstead's not going to play, let's be honest. So you're not going to get this full picture of the offensive line either. And I'm sure, if Eichenberg goes out there and he gives up one sack, people are going to be losing their minds. So that's definitely a thing you got to be interested in as far as tomorrow night is concerned, without not having the full offense. And I guess also seeing how clean they can keep things. You will not have your starters out there, but man, it's just been such a point of emphasis, this whole thing with the penalties and where they're at right now. And even Mike McDaniel was written about this in the and how they're trying to clean things up from a penalty standpoint, and was basically telling them in the offseason, like he told flatly that we were the worst and why it's become such a prevalent thing they're discussing.
Nobody wants to jump off sides, and like we couldn't have emphasized it more this offseason in terms of this is what it is. The facts are the facts. You're the worst. I'm the worst. Like, that's what it is. So every time we false start, like, yeah, that's everyone's like, it's not something that people are very comfortable with or pumped about. The point is to figure out the whys behind it, but we're very aware that, we're on the heels of being the worst. So that's not acceptable. We'll continue to work through it.
And trying to get things right as it was. And the last video I did, I was talking about, like, it kind of felt like Mike McDaniel was the most annoyed he had been. And it's on a scale, it's Mike McDaniel. It's like, how angry is the guy going to get? But I think that was it was noticeable. He wasn't happy necessarily with where things are. And, he basically just said they've been average, and they weren't average last year. They were great. They were a great offense last year. And I think everybody has really, really high expectations. I think he has high expectations of himself. And I've said this with Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel had a very charmed off season where he was courtside at every Heat game all the way up through the finals, even though his boy Dan Soder said that he was secretly rooting for the Nuggets. I do think that he has a budding bromance with Spo, and beat the drum at the Stanley Cup Finals and the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. I do think that when you're around all of that, you're like, man. And Mike McDaniel has given voice to this, like the appreciation of the passion of the Dolphin, the longevity, the drought that there's been, and what it would mean for them to be the guy that breaks it. So, I don't know if that's playing into it. But the only thing I do wonder about is, like, if the thing is as much of a point of emphasis as it is, like, if you're getting guys to play tight, because they have talked about, like, remember, they also were in their first year of the offense. He was a first-year head coach. How much stuff is just naturally going to get better with experience and timing and all that stuff? How much of that's just going to be better because, you're hopeful that your QB is healthy the whole way. You're hopeful that another year of experience will get things ready. So I don't know if it's at a point where anybody should be going crazy, but clearly, like, even yesterday, like, no orange jersey at practice, seemingly sending a message about the practice previous. So I don't know how much will get better from the preseason game and what can really be taken going into the next week, when you probably will in the next preseason game get a little bit of Tua if he sticks to what he did the last year. But I do think that from his standpoint, like, it hasn't met that Mike McDaniel standard yet. He's just not doing it like he just doesn't quite do it in the blunt way that, like, Vic Fangio does, where he's just like, yeah, it's not good enough. It's not where we need to be yet. Like, Vic Fangio is just like cut and dry, say what it is. Even like Bradley Chubb was talking about this. Like, Fangs is just up for tough love, but he loves it.
I like the aspect of, like, the way he challenges you. He doesn't, like, go forth and say, "Oh man, you got to do this," like, blah blah blah. He kind of just says it in a subtle way, with that old kind of like tone, the condescending tone. You be like, "Hold on, was he talking to me? How did he mean that?" And you don't really.
Just as a pause, yeah, the old love being condescending.
Oh man, he's talking crap about me. I gotta go do this. You kind of, all right, I accept that challenge, and I'm about to go out there and show him that I can do this and I will do this. So it's a good way, man. It's not like bearing down on somebody. It's just kind of challenge him in his way. And once you notice it, once you kind of understand it, you're like, okay, yeah, I gotta step up, and he wants me to do that. And a lot of guys have been in that position and been stepping up, so it's been good to see.
Yeah, and Chubb's, like, obviously got, some of the most experience in this system. Jalen Ramsey did, but got hurt. So it's a big part. And look, Bradley Chubb's got a lot of pressure on him too. He mentioned, in his first training camp with the Miami Dolphins in this crazy ass heat, but monster contract as he came over here, was kind of looked up as a final piece. He's referring to him and Jalen Phillips as the big dogs, and that they got to eat. They better eat. I mean, they better go out. They better be snacking on QBs, like Scooby snacks type of deal, dude. Although Scooby wasn't the big dog, I probably want to reference he was kind of a coward. You guys get what I was talking about.